ready. Hold tight.
Hold on to your hats, boys.
Libos. Hello, good evening, and welcome to another episode of the Wednesday Week.
Just what the flipping Nora are you lot doing?
I'm still in there. I'm still right behind him.
It was just a very well thought out tactical plan by Danny.
I want to go!
I can literally feel the steam coming out your ears.
So it's like a fun little post-game snack.
For Wednesday Week!
Hello, good evening, and welcome to our preview episode. Yes, you've guessed it. Here we go again. Yes, hello from the other side, and I meant that twofold because I heard Dean just scoff a little bit there. I mean, here we go again with the hello from the other side, but also here we go again. Dean, Sky Blues Extra, welcome to the show again.
Yeah, thanks, Ash. Thanks for having me back. It's actually good to be back. You're not sort of ditched me off for somebody else. You're not bored of me as of yet. And I said to Steve after the last one before FA Cup game, wasn't it? I get confused which game is which now. But I said to him, do I get like a hat trick ball or something like that? So I'm expecting a sort of a prize presentation at the end of this at some point. But yeah, good to be here.
Depending how Saturday goes, we can sort you out a guest slot maybe.
Yeah, let's see how it goes.
Yeah, so everyone listening, as you can guess, Coventry City are coming to Hillsborough on Saturday for the 23,294th time in the last 2 years. Dean, it's a pleasure to have you. A much changed Coventry, shall we say, from the two previous meetings this season. You've got a new name, obviously. It's Frank Lampard's Coventry City. So,
just on the badge. I haven't seen on the badge yet. I have to have a look.
Not had it stitched on. So just a quick one. Talk about that. A bit of a change for Coventry for the first time. What was it? 9 years or something like that, I think.
It was just coming up to the 8th year anniversary. So yeah, it has been a change, and it's been difficult for a lot of fans to sort of get their head around. But I think now it's sort of like it's settled in. Actually, Mark Robins going to Stoke has probably helped out in a way because he's at another club now, so we can concentrate on ourselves. We don't have to worry about the past or anything like that, or worry about him. So yeah, I think fans have sort of come around to it, and you know what wins does. That puts to bed any question marks that people had, and we've stumbled upon something at the moment over the last sort of 5-6 weeks, and it's working quite well. So all rosy at the moment, but how fickle football can be. It might change in a matter of days.
100%. I remember, obviously, with being linked with a name like Frank Lampard, it's social media is great, isn't it? And it wasn't probably. Was it the Coventry City fans' choice? Because he hasn't got the greatest of management records, has he? So I suppose when that name gets bandied about, were you happy? Were you? I mean, it's hindsight now. I'm talking obviously 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago even.
I mean, it's a difficult one, Ash, because like for me personally, I actually thought it was time for Robins to go. I didn't see I couldn't see where the progression was heading. And early in this season, you could start to see like there's issues here. And the only way to change those issues is to change the manager. Unfortunately, you don't change your squad of 25 players, do you? When there's issues, you change the manager. So it was inevitably going to be the case. And then for us, it's like it's going into uncharted territory as fans, because for all we've known for the past 7 years is Mark Robins. So we don't particularly know like the market of managers. Like it's very difficult to pinpoint like what do we want? Like who do we want? And I suppose it comes down to a choice. Do you want to go for a name, which we have done? And for me, I think Frank Lampard gets a bit of an unfair sort of criticism in regards to what he's done in the past. He had a good time at Derby in one of the most difficult championships I've ever seen. I mean, the all singing, all dancing. So there were some big teams in that league that year, and he got them to the playoff final. He went to Chelsea under a difficult circumstances with the transfer embargo, gets them to Champions League places, brings through 5 or 6 youth team players now, which are plying their trade around the world at big clubs as well. Everton kept them up. Okay, didn't particularly work well in the next season with Everton because of the board issues in regards to they were buying players rather than Frank himself. And then going back to Chelsea was a catastrophic mistake. Nobody should have done that. Should have been advised to stay well clear at that time. But you live by your mistake. Yeah, you learn by your mistakes, don't you? In what you should do in life. That's you know the ideal way of doing things. But listen, he's doing a bang up job at the moment. Again, under difficult circumstances because he's got a lot of players here who can't play to the style of football he wants to play. But he's making it work at the moment. So fair play to him, and we're reaping the benefits.
Yeah, you mentioned the players. January just come and gone. We're still in the honeymoon period for the signings. You made quite a well documented signing, didn't you, in Grimes from Swansea because of the whole situation with him at Swansea. And is it Asante as well? Did you get him in January?
No, we had Asante from the start of the season. Yeah.
I just remember
it was just Grimes. And for me, that's like one of the standout signings of the whole championship. Easily top 5 midfielders in the league. The stats prove that over the past 6-7 years. He's had a great career at Swansea. He was probably deemed untouchable, to be honest, to try and sign. And, sort of it's worked in our favour. There might have been unrest at Swansea at the time and he's not happy with the direction they're going in. So we've jumped at that chance and, it's going to be to our benefit. He showed signs so far that he's come in. He's calm under pressure. He can link play. He's showing everything that I've always admired him for over the past few years. So very, very happy with that signing. And I think it will enable other players in the team now to unlock their own potential as well.
So it's excuse me, it's one for us to watch on for a player for us to watch on Saturday with obviously we've got our standout midfielder of the last 10 years nearly now at the club, Barry Bannon. So he's out injured. There's no timescale for that. A couple of weeks, hopefully.
That's a big blow, and that's something we spoke yesterday on our podcast about looking ahead. And losing Bannon is a massive blow. He's your talisman, one of the the better midfield, even at 34, 35 years of age, still one of the better midfielders in the league. During the FA Cup game, he came on and pretty much ran the show from the 65th minute or so when he came onto the pitch. So for us, that's a real positive going into the weekend. Obviously not for you. It's an unfortunate one.
Yeah, and coupled that in January for Sheffield Wednesday, we were desperate. Fans were crying out for a centre back, just for extra because we've got Akin Famewo's been out injured now till probably March. Dom Iof is out as well till we don't know when. So we don't sign a centre back, and guess what happens? We lose our best centre back for the rest of the season. So Deschamps Bernard's out for what's been said 6 months, which is obviously going to put him into early part of next season, which is
a killer blow.
Very much so. With both our teams' playoff credentials on the line, like we're both thereabouts, losing 2 of our most influential players of the season. So close to each other
and for us it's the opposite. So we've got Ephraim Mason-Clark coming back, we've got Haji Wright coming back, we've got Ben Sheaf coming back. So we've got players that are bolstering our squad, whereas it's the opposite for you. And look, it's difficult. Like the year we made the playoffs, we were very lucky. We only had like 1 injury throughout the season, which was Callum O'Hare. We kept Gyökeres fit, we kept Hamer fit, we kept Ben Sheaf fit. And they sort of propelled us into those playoffs. So I know full well that unless you've got your best players at this crucial stage of the season, it's very, very difficult to maintain the form and to find more form to sort of propel yourself into those playoff positions.
Yeah, it has been a bit of a kick for Bannon, who's been really for like I said 10 years. He's hardly ever missed a game. Really has been through like I said 34, 35 I think he is now, not to be as injured as other players. His fitness has been phenomenal. And Bernard, like I say, one of the positions we didn't want to lose a player was centre back, and to be our best centre back is a bit of a kick. So, I mean,
so how are you dealing with that situation?
So, well, we played Swansea City, so we're recording Thursday night. So we played Swansea last night. Come away with a 1-0 win. It was an awful first half from both teams.
Well, I had it on I'm not sure if I can say this as sort of a dodgy service. I had picture in picture, so I had 2 games on at the same time, and I started flicking between like different leagues and stuff, different matches in the league, and I flicked onto the first half, and it was pretty ropey, wasn't it? Let's be honest.
I'll be totally honest. It wasn't. If you were a neutral, you were nowhere near. You watched 5 minutes of that, it was awful. But for a Swansea City or Sheffield Wednesday fan, yeah, you're watching your team. Yeah, it was awful. So we've got Michael Anekwe, who was out injured earlier this season, from Rotherham. He's been with us three seasons now. He's our main centre back. And then we've got Max Lowe, Jan Valery, who are converted, played a back 3 with left and right, Lowe and Valery. But we have got a young lad, Gabriel Ogtagbeo, who's just signed a new contract. He looks really good. So hopefully he's going to get some minutes. He'll do him some good.
Oh, yeah, he'll have to have some minutes if the injury list keeps piling up and the matches keep coming through as well. That's another thing, like 2 matches, 3 matches a week.
It is. We are with the next 6 matches. We play yourself. We've got Sheffield United as well coming up in a few weeks. We play Sunderland, Burnley. So we have got some tough fixtures. Tough fixtures coming up. But fixtures, I mean, for Coventry, it's been looking rosy. I've got the stats up here, and you've only lost 2 in the last 10, and that were against Leeds United, which no disgrace in that one, and Norwich, who are also round about the playoffs. So it's been a bit of a purple patch for Coventry at the minute. Yeah,
and we were 1-0 up in that Norwich game in the 91st minute. So, and we lost 2-1. So it just goes to like that was a hell of a close call. The Leeds one, like you said there, that's no disgrace there. They're a top side, probably one of the best sides the Championship's seen for a good while. If anything, they should be pissing the league more than what they are, which that's their own fault. So no disgrace on that one. We did lose in the cup to Ipswich, which was a nothing game really. We had our chances. We had a goal disallowed wrongly. Could have had a penalty. So swings and roundabouts in that kind of game, one-off FA Cup games, as you're well aware over the last couple of years versus us. But since then, the form's been really good. We've had some tricky away matches. We've never won in Swansea away from home. Did that, beat Blackburn, who were flying at the time, away from home. Good home performances as well, and then obviously picked up the 3 points late against QPR in midweek. So it's looking good at the moment. And then for us, we've got a real set of favourable fixtures. So again, complete contrast to you guys. So looking at the picture towards the end of the season, it's not too bad. We've only got to go to yourselves and Sheffield United, who are above us away from home. Everyone else, we've either got to play at home or they're in the bottom 6 away from home. So things are looking good. Plus the players coming back, it's looking okay. But end of the day, you still got to put the performances. You've got to get the 3 points. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, you do. I've got, like I said, looking at stats, your away form's not the best, is it, at the minute? You've only won 4 out of the 16, so there is hope for us there. You're coming to Hillsborough on Saturday. That it might not all, but
I think that has changed since Frank's come in, though. A lot of those losses were under the previous regime, and since Frank's come in, we're a lot more solid away from home, and we've picked up a lot more points.
He's unbeaten. I think you've played 3 games.
Norwich was the only one, I think, away from home. Portsmouth, sorry, as well. So there's 2 games there, but the rest of them we haven't. I think we played 10 games away from home, maybe in that period. So we've only lost 2 of those.
Oof, all right, okay, I'll shut up then. I'm trying to find positives for us Wednesdayites, to take into it. It's we know we've done this quite a few times now, Dean, with the the cup draws and replays. So we've played each other a fair few times now. It's shouldn't be anything scary and different. But I know the only change really is that it's Frank Lampard in the dugout and not Mark Robins. It's
from a league perspective, he was obviously in charge in the cup game, which the less said about that cup game, the better. Like if you need something to send you to sleep, then that cup game was probably the one. There was probably 3 chances in the game. We scored one of them, you scored the other, and there was the incredible double save as well from your keeper. That was basically it in the whole game. So hopefully I'm expecting a better match for the viewer on Saturday. I'm sure it will be. It's very different in the league, isn't it? It's different mentality for sure.
Are you making the trip yourself to S6?
I'm not, unfortunately. No, I'm in the process of house moving, etc., all that sort of stuff. So busy weekends over the next couple. So unfortunately, can't make the trip. But I think there's 3,400 or something Cov fans coming.
So sell out, is it?
Sell out, sorry? Yeah. It's going to be a fantastic atmosphere, I imagine, in there.
Yeah, it's something that when the Leppings Lane end, the away end, and the top stand, when that is sold out, it for me it does make a bet for a better game, shall we say, than having just a couple of hundred from wherever coming to support. But yeah, Coventry, it's not too far, a couple of hours.
Yeah.
I'll get there. It's I've always said this, and I'm going to say it to you, Dad. I've probably mentioned it, but last season when we played you away, it was the best home atmosphere that I've been to for many years because of that singing corner, I think they call it. But now it's a bit different because this season you've altered it for. So was there a reason for that? Because like I said, I always go back to that and the not non-stop singing, but 95% of singing from that corner and the drums. But then this season, yes, I know we won in the league at Coventry, but it just didn't seem the same.
It hasn't felt the same, to be honest. So I think there's a couple of reasons. One, the form hasn't been great. We haven't played particularly a great style of football or a great brand of football. So that will always sort of lean into the atmosphere and the singing, of course, and the excitement.
Yeah.
But the makeup of the ground has changed this year. So they've put in safe standing, but they had to put sort of safe standing in a straight part of the stadium. So they had to move it to past that corner. So we've got more home fans in that sort of area. So it's pushed the away fans further along. So they're actually further away from that corner. So that's kind of why the atmosphere has sort of dwindled as well. Now, when it comes to an FA Cup game, for example, when Ipswich came the other week, we had to give them that set of standing because of 10% tickets or whatever, the allocation of the FA rules.
Yeah.
That brought them closer to the Singers' Corner, and the atmosphere was lifted and generated because of that sort of close-knitness again. So it's one thing for our guys in the boardroom to look at for sure. Yeah. I personally would like to see it revert back somehow, and then try and sort of enclose the away fans so you can have home fans either side, because you've still got that other corner that we could do, but that's much more difficult because of the setup underneath in the concourse and having a barrier and stuff like that. It's not as easy as that really. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame this year, but it's kind of a needs must because safe standing was the ultimate thing that everybody wanted, and it's maybe backfired a little way.
We're in the process. I believe we're in the process of identifying areas in Hillsborough that can be safe standing. Totally different stadium. I know for yours a lot newer to like the new style bowl type, but the away end at Hillsborough is just that one stand. So either side you lose all that. We've got the home supporters, the T1 that sit on the closest on the north stand. They make good noise, but it's still too far away to have that sort of atmosphere. So we do lose something, but that's what you get when you don't upgrade your stadium. But I can get into all sorts there, mate.
No, don't. But it doesn't need to be updated because that's like the joy of Hillsborough, and it's why it's like we've done a series called the Sky Blues Ultimate 11 for us and on our podcast, and like as part of that, we've chosen another stadium other than Coventry to play in, and my first choice is Hillsborough because of the memories I had growing up, going away to Sheffield Wednesday as a kid. It was just insane. Like the stadium is just so iconic. Obviously, there's history there, and we don't need to go into that, but it's so iconic. It's got just that. It's got a smell, Ash. It's weird way. It's a weird way to explain it, but it's got that sort of like proper football smell, and that's what I love. Like Loftus Road, the City Ground, and all these types of places. That old school feel, I absolutely love. So fingers crossed, you don't move.
Yeah, it's funny. It's good to hear that. You hear quite a lot that people like yourself, Dean, and podcasters and people that talk about it that do have that affinity with Hillsborough, and we love it. It's our ground, of course it is, but then you do look at these newer ones, and you look at when we go away to yourselves, you do have better concourses. You have the infrastructure,
the facilities, of course, yeah. But you go to Spurs now. If you go to a game at Spurs ground, right? It's just dead. Yeah. Like, okay, it's brilliant. There's so much space. Like, food options are great, etc. All bars, whatever you need, is all there. Lucky enough, I've been lucky enough to go there and go behind the scenes and stuff. I did a sort of a shoot there with a golfer there a few months ago, and I got to go behind the scenes into the dugouts, into the changing rooms and all that stuff. And I'm thinking, this is unbelievable. But on a match day, it is just void of any sort of atmosphere because of the setup. And that's what you lose with this type of new stadium. And like even when we moved into the CBS, we struggled to generate that atmosphere. That's only really come back over the last couple of years. So it does take time for that sort of to bed in, but I wouldn't be jumping at the gun to move to this all singing or dancing thing just because of facilities. At the end of the day, you're there for 2 hours to watch a football match. That should be the be all and end all.
Yeah, I totally agree. I would like a bit of liquor paint around Hillsborough.
Hey, get your paintbrushes out. Get that Southampton B&Q. I'm sure you can help out during the summer. There's nothing stopping you from doing that, of course. But it's just the essence of keeping what you've got there. It's so special.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. It's like I say, it's nice to hear from a supporter who travels the country up and down and it comes to our stadium. It's nice to hear that because we see it every other week, don't we? And it's like you do to your own stadium. But yeah, thanks for the kind words. Right, back to the football Saturday. Go on, right. As you know, you've been on this a few times now, Dean. Saturday, we're kicking off. How do you see this going? Obviously, we've talked about Coventry's form. Frank Lampard's come in and he's obviously changed it quite a lot. We've still got Danny Rohl, who's now the 4th longest manager in the Championship, which is bizarre, but that's football. Are you confident?
I'm confident on the basis that we've found a formula to win, and we've got players back in amongst the squad now. I forgot to mention, I think Jamie Patterson has signed a free contract with us as well, which is adding to those attacking. Hasn't been announced yet. I may have jumped the gun there. Shit, spoiler alert. But that will add to our attacking prowess going forward as well. So he should be in the squad ahead of Saturday. So again, bolstering that forward line. I am excited in regards to what we've got at the top end of the pitch. And I think Matty Grimes will be key now to sort of unlocking that as well. Efron Mason-Clark came back on Tuesday night for 20 minutes, so he should be in and amongst the squad as well. So I am confident. I have concerns in regards to how we deal with Windass because he's playing really well at the moment as well. And he's got that sort of, seems to be sort of, well, from what I saw last night, sort of a free reign to sort of move around the top end of the pitch. So it's going to be difficult to sort of keep a lid on him. Being at home, I expect you to have, the ascendancy for large majority of the game. And it's how we deal with that and how we deal with the pressure of that. We've done it quite well recently. So let's see if we can do it again.
It's we've been pretty. On the whole, the last 6 games, our first 45 minutes has been pretty easy. If you look to, obviously, last time, it's been not the best. We had an awful 45 against Luton at home where we ended up drawing. QPR away, yes, we went and we beat them, but it was an awful first 45. So we can't keep doing that, especially at home.
Well, you might have to, because we've been ponying the first 45 as well for the majority of the last few games.
So that's it. Everyone tuned in at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, just come back in at 4 o'clock. Get your burgers and then head up to your seat from there. But yeah, it's look. It's, at the end of the day, it's a game of football over 90 minutes, and things go for you and things go against you. It's very hard to pinpoint, and obviously the bookies have got it very close as well. Yeah. Wednesday, slight favourites as we stand now, so they're expecting a close game. I do expect it to be a close game, 1 goal here or there, which it could go either way, to be honest.
Yeah, we've been on the receiving end. Obviously, West Brom was scored in the 93rd to equalise. They scored in the 96th to win it. But then on the flip side of it, we scored a last minute against Derby to win away. So it's always difficult. I'm always confident. Of course I am. You've got to back your team. It's a close. I just think that the position we're both in, there is, I looked earlier, probably seven, maybe 8 teams looking at the last 2 playoff, because I think the top 4, they're well gone.
It's done and dusted, yeah.
They're done. So you're at 5th and 6th. You've got up to 7, 8 teams that are still within a shout, because I think there's only about 10 points separating all them in the league. So you're still well within it. So I think it could be a very tight game. And like I said, first 45. But and I'm going to agree with you, D. I think maybe 1 goal is going to win it. I'm going to go 1-0 Wednesday. We have been a bit guilty of letting soft goals in. So, yeah, if we can keep a clean sheet at Hillsborough, I'll be well happy with the 3 points as well. Are you going to get a prediction from you?
Yeah, I think we might just edge it 2-1. I think you will score. We haven't been particularly great at the back either, so I think that sort of plays into that as well. But yeah, I totally agree. Like, in regards to that, I mean, just looking at the table now, it's absolutely mental, isn't it? I'd say anything from sort of 5th, which is Blackburn at the moment, on 48, down to maybe Watford. But we know how batshit Watford are. QPR, I don't think have got the squad to do it, and I think anyone below that is definitely out of it. So yeah, we are sort of clamouring for those 2 spots. And we're one of the form sides.
Yeah, definitely are
at the moment as well. So that plays into our favour with those favourable fixtures. I wouldn't rule us out getting one of those 2 spots, but it's very difficult to predict. And I think that Blackburn win against West Brom on Tuesday night was a big result for the rest of us. I think as long as it's congested, you don't want someone running away with that 5th place position either. You want as many teams involved as you can, because not everybody can get points each week. Some of these teams are going to be playing each other like us this weekend. So people are going to drop points left, right, and centre, and the closer it is for everybody, the better it is. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a sort of a stalemate either on Saturday, just because of the makeup of the league. It's, for us, we don't want to be dropping 3 points to you, and then that takes us 4 points away from you, that kind of stuff. And it's that, and if we win, we go above you by 2 points, and it's that kind of mentality might play into it at some point. So it's, I know there's still 14 games or so left, but it's at this point now where you start to sort of try and formulate, if we don't drop points against this team, maybe they'll lose points in a couple of games time when they play a team that's already in the playoffs, and that your mind starts to wonder, and you look ahead, and you shouldn't do that really, but it's just part and parcel of being in the Championship at this stage of the season.
I can see it as well, and it's one of those football cliches, like you're going into the last 10 games, there's always a team that just pops up with 8 wins out of the last 10 and gets it. The makeup, I agree with you, Dean, the makeup of this league is screaming that someone's going to do that and take the 5th spot, and it'll be 1 out of 5 teams, 4 or 5 teams looking for that last spot. And it's going to make for an interesting. But
I want it to go all the way to the end as well. Like, regardless if we're involved or not, I just want to see it like be something quite close, because the top 4 is settled as such, and they're just fighting for those 2 spots. But I want to see the rest sort of clamoring for those 5th and 6th positions, and show why this is the greatest and most batshit league in the world.
I think we finish away at Watford on the last game season, so they're with us all round.
And
so
we're home to Middlesbrough, which is exactly the same as the playoff season, exactly the same.
Well, it could make for a very interesting.
Stars are aligning, Ash. The stars are aligning.
That's it. Wednesday 5th, Coventry 6. Look at that one there.
And we'll see. We'll see you down Wembley way.
Oh, I tell you what, I would take that. I would. I've been accused of being.
Why not? We've played each other 7 times over the past 2 years. Why not add another into the mix on a lovely sunny day in May? I
would say it'd be even thing if one of us finished 4th and 5th, and we had 2 games with the playoffs. But I can't see any of the top 4 dropping it much.
No, it's just I think Leeds and probably Sheffield United. I know it's a swear word on here, but I think them 2 will probably edge it, and then the rest will battle it out.
I hope you're wrong, because. For a Wednesday fan looking at the Championship at the minute, it makes for a very grim reading for the top 2.
Yeah, seeing those Yorkshire.
So I know the Lancashire, but I'd rather have Burnley winning. But there you go. I know. But Dean, it's been a pleasure as always.
Thanks, Ash.
Joining us on the Wednesday week. If you like what you've just heard, please click a like, subscribe, drop us a review. All the algorithm thing is love that. So. Thank you very much for watching, listening, and we'll be back soon. Cheers.
Every week, live from 8 p.m. It's the Wednesday week. Bringing you football analysis.
He came in. I think he scored a goal.
Bringing you banter.
Yeah.
Bringing you responsible life hacks.
Met you wonderful souls at 10 a.m. for some shots.
The Wednesday week. 1, 2, 3, 4 live. Available on all social medias.
Obviously, this goes out on YouTube and as well as all the other social media out there, podcasts, etc.
The Wednesday week 24-25 season. Join us.
Put on your podcast.